et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Sancta Michael Arcangelo, defende nos in prega, contra nequitiam et insidias diaboli, et presidio. Impere ili Deus, suppliceste pregam. Tuque, princeps militias celestis, Satanum, aliosque spiritus malignos, qui ad perditionem animarum pervegantur in mundo, divina virtute, in infernum destruit. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. I do have some answer keys for you for the practice test you took. Take a minute or two and look over these. Take your practice test out so you can compare them. I'm going to be checking everybody's, yeah. There are a few of them I haven't checked out for everybody. We actually been doing that in about 2 minutes. While you're looking through these, please have out, did I have 2 homeworks I need to check out for everybody? Or just 1? Okay, and then a few people are gone, so I checked 2 for them. So I assume it's just 1 G that goes? Or is it 1 H? Good luck. Yeah. 1 G. All right, let me come around and see what you have. This is homework 1G, I believe. I'll be around in just a second. You'll notice we skipped 1H. I'm actually lumping that into the next chapter. Here. 1G, correct. We're skipping 1H for now.
Oh, yes, yes. That one.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take about 10 minutes and go through the 5-10 minutes, go through the homework. I'll read off the answers. Make sure everybody doesn't have any serious questions left. And then we're going to go through the practice test. They may not get an answer key. They may not get the original test because they weren't here yesterday. All right. We're on page 40 thereabouts, 40, 41. Some of these are graphing, so I'm just going to sketch them on the board. When it said use the method of example 1, you could if you wanted to, but you can use any method you like. Y equals x squared minus, hang on a second. Yeah. X squared minus 6x. This is 1a. Here's one way you could do it. This, that, quick question. Or that, yeah. You can factor this into x parentheses. This is one possible way. You can factor this, and it should show off 2 x-intercepts. Two x-intercepts. Can you tell me where? Where are the x-intercepts on this thing? How do you find x-intercepts? Set y equal to 0. For x-intercepts, set y equal to 0. This should remind you of first year algebra. This is called the zero product property. Something times something is 0. So we get x equals 0 and x minus 6 equals 0. One of them's already solved. Here you just add 6 and x equals 6. So you've got the x-intercepts. One of them is 0 and one of them is 6. Now tell me how to find the y-intercept. Go.
You plug in 0 for x.
Yeah, for a y-intercept, set x equal to 0. That would look like this. Y equals 0 squared minus 6 times 0. What would they give you for that? 0. Ta-da. So the x-intercept and the y-intercept are kind of the same thing here. Now tell me how to find the axis of symmetry. There's a trick to it in this case. Yeah.
You take the average between the 2 points.
Right. The two x-intercepts are going to have an axis of symmetry exactly halfway between, and in this case it's what? 3. X equals 3. That's the axis of symmetry. Does that make sense? This is 0. This is like 3 and 6. How do you find the vertex? How do you find the vertex? Where is the vertex? Like, it's somewhere. I mean, can you tell me one of the two numbers for the vertex? Go.
3.
How do you know it's 3?
Because the axis of symmetry is 3.
Yeah, the vertex is run over by the axis of symmetry. So it's somewhere on here. The vertex, I'll do V. It's 3 comma something. 3 comma what? There are a couple ways to do this. You could use the parabola pattern and reverse engineer it. You could go backwards, because it's normally over 1 up 1, over 2 up 4, over 3 up 9. Can anybody guess based on that? Quick question, random question. Katie, is this parabola going upward or downward? Here's the original formula. Upward. Why do you say that? Okay, fair enough. Why would it be going upward? You're right, by the way.
Because there's no negative in the input.
Well, kind of, sort of there is. But you're close. What is not negative? The what? The x squared, the height multiplier. The a value is positive. If a is positive, it's going uphill, so to speak. So it's opening up from down here. So one way to do it, let's just say you're here. How far over is the axis of symmetry? Like start from 0. 3. Over 3, and would it be going up or down to find the vertex? Down. How far? Over 3, down what? Follow the parabola pattern. 9. Again, this is not the standard way to do it, but some people like this. All the way down to 9. There's your vertex. 3 comma negative 9. And that is actually enough for you to draw a halfway decent problem. There's another way to get the vertex. Let's just say you don't know it's negative 9. Let's say it's 3 times 3 comma something. If this is x, can somebody tell me how to get the other number? Frankly. Plug it in, exactly. Take 3 and plug it in for x. So this is going to be 3 squared minus 6 times 3. So 9 minus 18 is negative 9. That's actually the standard way to do it. That's pretty much guaranteed. You don't have to be clever to do that. Horrible. Negative 9. Does that make sense, Barb? Number 1? So I think that's everything they need. Number 3. The same sort of thing. Look at number 3. Can somebody give me it's x plus 5, x plus 3? What objects can you give me from this? Josh, help me out with this. Just based on this, what form is it, by the way? It's kind of, sort of.
If you foil it, it would be standard.
You could, if you foiled it, it would be standard form. What form is it in right now? There are 3 forms we've covered. There's standard form. What else? Sam. The standard form, give me another form. Doesn't have to be in order.
Is it intercept form?
Very close. There's one thingy missing. What intercept form? X-intercept form. X-intercept form looks like this. Y equals A, x minus x1, x minus x2. This is almost in vertex, or in x-intercept form. What's not quite right? Go.
There's addition signs rather than.
There's addition signs. Can you fix it? Y equals what? What's the number in front, by the way?
1.
1. And then what?
X minus negative 5.
X minus negative 5?
X minus minus 3.
Got it. Just so you're aware, I've been thinking long and hard last night, looking over the test and such. I think I'm actually going to be pushing the test to next week. I would like to go over a little bit more. And I have another practice test for you, which I think I'm going, just more as a training exercise. For tomorrow, I'm just going to let you do that in groups tomorrow. And then we'll just drill on Monday and take the actual test on Tuesday if that works for you. Does that work? Okay. I'm not always too quick on the uptake, but every once I'm looking around and I'm seeing just a little bit more white around everybody's eyes than normal, which is kind of indicative of the train is coming. I haven't made up my will yet. This is sort of, so I wanted to non-stress you a little bit. Okay. I do want to go through the homework here, and then we'll start going through the practice exam as best we can. X-intercept form. Question, Josh. What does x-intercept form give you? Answer. X-intercepts. Where are they?
This would be negative 5.
Yep.
And negative 3.
And -3. Does that make sense? There's an x-intercept at -5 and an x-intercept at -3. Can somebody tell me if this parabola is opening upward or downward? Megan, what do you think? Is this an upward parabola? Here's the formula. Now we can put a 1 here. Is it going upward or downward? Upward. Why do you say that? Yeah. The A, in case it's a little vague still, A in all of these is called the height multiplier. We did this last year, but it's been a while. It's been like 9 months. A is the height multiplier, which means if A is positive, it's got to be going up. If A is negative, it's opening down. If A happens to be 2, then it's twice as tall. If A is -2, then it's twice as tall and going downward, and so on. So in this case, the height multiplier is 1. That tells us 2 things. It's normal height, over 1 up 1, over 2 up 4. And it's also positive, which means it's opening upward. Just sleuthing this, Nate, would the vertex be above or below the x-axis? It would be below. Why do you say that? Yeah, if it's going upwards, it has to start from below. Can you tell me where the axis of symmetry is? In -4, correct. The axis of symmetry, make sure you put x equals. X equals -4 is the axis of symmetry. Can somebody tell me how to find the vertex? Mary, help me out here. How do you find the vertex? Like, where would you look?
Like
Right. So it's going to be vertex equals one of these two numbers it should be able to give you.
X would be
Right. Negative what?
negative.
Got it. It's -4 comma something. How do you find the something?
We can just plug in -4 for X.
You could. This will give you every single, if you plug in any x, it'll give you any y that goes with it. So let's try this. 1 times -4 plus 5, and then plug in the x again. -4 plus 3. Calculate that for me if you would. 1 times what times what?
1 times 1
Uh-huh.
is
What do you got?
-1.
Yep. -4, -1. There's the vertex. Is this making sense? So I get that? If you have two roots or x-intercepts, the axis of symmetry is always dead center between them. Just average them. If you want to find the vertex, it's on that line somewhere. So let's say the line is -4 for x. Plug in -4 and see what happens. I bet you it'll give you the height. And if you have 3 points, that's all you need for a minimum parabola graph. As long as you have the vertex and 2 guide points, you're good to go. Does that make sense? Speaking of which, one last thing. Can somebody tell me what the y-intercept is? How do you find it? Katie, help me out with this one. How do you find a y-intercept like in general? X is 0. Try it. Use this formula for me. So y equals what? 0 plus 5 times 0 plus 3. What do you get? Exactly. It's way, way, way up here. It's y equals 15. There's your y-intercept. It's a lot easier to plug in than it is to try and graph it. Does that make sense? Feeling a little better on these? So if I gave you 2 x-intercepts, can you find everything else and sketch the graph? All right. That was number 3, correct? Jump to number 7. This is a little bit of a different creature. Y equals x squared minus 2x minus 15. So, Nick, what form is that? Say again? It's standard form. Tell me standard form in general. Y equals what? Correct. X squared plus bx plus c. That's the one we probably learned first. Use the quadratic formula with that and such. This is, tell me what's A. 1, what's B? -2, good save. What's C? -15, good. If you wanted, you could use you could use the quadratic formula on this. Now, can somebody tell me what the purpose of the quadratic formula is? Other than getting 5 points of extra credit on last week's test. Yeah.
Is it x-intercept?
Finds x-intercepts. The quadratic formula, x equals, by the way, what is it? Somebody rattle it off for me? Rennie, remember? Hold on a second, I haven't read that fast. Plus or minus what? Bravo. All divided by 2a. That should get you the 2 x-intercepts. That's its job. I mean, it's not just a fun formula for memorizing. It does impress people, especially if you can say it fast. Yeah. The fact that I caught this put me in a better mood, so I'll think about it. But for right now, x-intercepts. Let's find them. Sam, use this and this. Find the x-intercepts. X equals what? So what's A?
Oh,
1, what's B?
2,
Negative 2, what's C?
negative 2.
Use them. X equals what?
So it's negative, negative 2.
Good.
Plus or minus
Uh-huh.
squared, negative 2 squared.
Right, and whenever you plug in, use parentheses. Negative 2 squared, keep going.
Minus 4
Uh-huh.
plus 1 plus
Times 1 times what?
negative 15.
Negative 15. All divided by what?
2.
2 times what? 1. Good. Let me see, John, simplify.
So we
2.
need plus or minus square root of
4, good.
4
So it would have been
also
plus. Hurry, 60. I'm kind of doing the still walk here. And then what? All divided by 2. Super, right, super? All right. Megan, take over. What would you do next? Yeah, what is that? What is the square root of 64? Or? Right. 2 plus or minus 8 over 2. Give me the 2 answers, if you would. How do you do the first one? Like, what's the first answer that cranks out of this thing? Yeah, how do you get that? Yeah, 2 plus 8 over 2, which is 10 over 2, which is 5. What's the other one? Yeah, 2 minus 8 over 2, which is negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. So you just found your 2 roots, positive 5, negative 3. Okay? We needed those anyway. They were going to ask us for it. Positive 5, negative 3. Okay. Can somebody tell me if this thing has a vertex above or below the x-axis? Charlie. Below. What makes you say that?
The A is constant,
Right. What does that mean?
which means it goes up.
Yeah, it's opening upward. The height multiplier is positive. It's opening up. So the vertex has to be down here. Where's the axis of symmetry? It is at 1. How do you get that? Correct. Get the average of the 2 roots, be exactly halfway between 5 and negative 3, is 1. Austin, where's the vertex? How do you find it?
just put X in, or put 1 in the equation.
Yeah, so the vertex is 1 comma something, because it's on the axis of symmetry. Go ahead and do that for me. Calculate it for me.
So you would have 1 plus 2, or 1 minus 2.
Yeah, 1 plus negative 2 plus.
Plus negative 15.
So what does that give you?
So that would be negative 17. Right.
Almost.
Oh, yeah, negative 18. 16.
Negative 16, good. Have you get that? So 1 plus negative 2 plus negative 15. So negative 16, the vertex is 1 comma negative 16. So if you mark this as negative 16, you should be able to do, whoops, whoa, don't drink and grab. There's 5, and then, right. What is it with me today? I hit my brought up a barn. So there you go. There's just one thing we haven't found. We found the x-intercepts, 5 and negative 3. We found the vertex, 1 comma negative 16. We found the axis, which is x equals 1, and we sketched it. There's one thing we have not found yet. What's that? Ooh, I'm not gonna roll. So, very clever. What have we not found yet? Y-intercept. Tell me how. How do you find a y-intercept? X equals 0. Do it for me. It's actually really easy up here. Uh-huh. Which gets you what? Nice. Y equals negative 15. That's right here. You do that. Is everybody feeling okay on this? So if I give you x-intercept form, go halfway between the roots, find the axis of symmetry, that finds the vertex, sketch the graph, and then find the x and y intercepts. You already have the equation. If it's in standard form, you can use the quadratic formula to find the roots, go halfway between them, and so on and so on and so on. Everybody good? So far? Alrighty, we're there with number 7. Number 11. Use the method of example 2. It doesn't really matter what method you use. I'm just going to use whatever method is easiest. I'm going to use another method just because I want you to know. There are basically 3 ways I have you, well, there are 4 ways you can solve a quadratic. Josh, what's one? Quadratic formula. Give me another one also. Factoring, and then followed by sort of, well, not exactly. In a weird sort of product. Zero product property. Factoring has to be followed by zero product property. Nate, give me a third one. Algebra. When's the only time you can use algebra? When there's only one species of x. If there's like a whole bunch of x squareds, but no other type of x, good to go. If you have x squared plus 2x plus 15, algebra fails you. So we've got quadratic formula, factor and zero product property, algebra is one other method. Yeah. Complete the square. I'm glad you brought that up. So, what does this look like? Y equals 4x squared minus 8x plus 2. They want you to solve and get all the stuff. Solve and graph. I would like you to complete the square. That's a horrible abbreviation. Anyway. So what is completing the square? There are 5 steps to it. Can I name step 1? Go. That's step 2. Step 1 is kind of generic. Yeah. Set it equal to 0. Physically replace the y with equal 0. We'll bring that back when we're done. Don't worry. Is that okay? That's step 1. What's step 2? Go ahead and do it. Cancel the c. Which one is c? 2. How do you cancel it? True. And then leave a blank. Step 2 is going to look like this. 4x squared, forgive me, plus negative 8x plus blank equals negative 2. Everybody still okay? What's the next step? What's still in the way of our nice complete the square, square the first, double product, square the last? The 2 is rotten. Get rid of it. The 4. How do you get rid of it? What's that? I think you said it. Take it out. Yeah. Do not divide by 4. A lot of people say, I'll just divide by 4 on both sides. Number 1, you're going to make this gross. Number 2, you're actually going to shrink the graph by 4 times. Don't get rid of the 4. Yank it out. 4 parentheses what? Go ahead and help me out there. I'm sorry about the tower. Yeah, minus is fine. Minus what? 2x plus blank equals negative 2. Next. Gentlemen, I think we can settle this. Okay. What's the 4th step? Who remembers that? Play this, what do you think? Right, complete the square. In other words, this thing compresses into a binomial squared. 4 parentheses squared. Tell me where it came from. This had to come from x. What about this?
Plus negative 1.
Plus negative 1. I'm actually going to do the old-fashioned way. I don't know why. Everybody was loving subtractions. I decided to throw you a bone. So, square the first, double the product. What should this have been?
1.
1. How do you get that?
You square the last.
Square the last. There's extra weight on the left-hand side of the equal sign now. How do you make up for that?
You put it on the other side.
Put it on the other side. Oh, what on the other side?
So what?
Why 4?
Cause
Good catch.
it's multiplied by 4.
I was about to put 1. Yeah, everything is 4 times bigger than we thought. So you're really adding 4. What is this going to add up to, by the way?
2.
2. Questions? All right. Now, what are they asking us to do? So, sketch each parabola, blah, 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 blah. Find the vertex, axis of symmetry, and the x and y intercepts. In the complete the square, there were 2 options for step 5. Solve and graph. Does anybody have in their notes step 5 for graphing? Yeah.
You subtract 2 backspace side and set it back to 1.
Set it back equal to 0. Yeah, and so 4 parentheses x minus 1 squared and then minus 2, is that right? Equals what?
Y or 0.
0. And then you replace, is that a word? You put back, back. You put it back as, you know what I mean. Put the y back where you found it. Ta-da. Why is this good for us? Does anybody recognize this form? Yeah.
Vertex.
That's vertex form. There's one teeny thing I would fix here.
Question.
Plus negative. Because remember, vertex form looks like this. Y equals a parentheses x minus h parentheses squared plus k. Make sure the plus is on the outside and there's a minus inside. Okay? So can somebody tell me the vertex just by staring at this thing? The form should give it to you on a silver platter if you know where the letters are. Here's the form. And the, oh, it should have said, the vertex is what comma what? I mean, yeah,
Each comma
h comma
K.
k. Mary Claire, what is the vertex in this case? Close. The minus is supposed to be there. 1 comma negative 2. Excellent. We can now graph this thing. Once you have the vertex, graphing it is pretty easy. Let me clear this stuff out. Yeah. Yes, go for it. So help me out on this one. Mary, help me out on this one. What is the height multiplier on this problem? 4. You'll notice it has the same height multiplier in standard form and vertex form. The height multiplier is the same no matter what. What's the pattern of it? What's the normal parabola pattern again? Over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4, over 3, over 10. Good catch. What is this doing?
Multiplying the second part times 4.
Yeah, so it's over 1, up 4, over 2.
16.
Very good. I'm not going to do that because it's huge. But do a vertex of 1 comma negative 2. And give me the first jump. So over 1 and then what? Up 4. Which is probably all our graph is going to hold. So over 1, up 4. Oh, this is called insanely lucky, by the way. Look what you just hit on the way up. That's called gift. That's called hit the slot machine and blush. You know, money. By the way, I'm not advocating slot machines. I have a story about that later. But this thing, you've got the sketch of the graph. You've got the vertex of 1 comma negative 2. There are 2 extra things you can get for free in this picture. Give me one. Go. Axis of symmetry. Where is it?
1.
X equals 1. It's right through the vertex, so you just draw it. X equals 1 is the axis of symmetry. And there's one other thing you can get for free. Nick, what is it? Welcome back. One other thing in this picture you can get for free other than the axis of symmetry. What would it be? There's something in the picture that you can just grab that they've been asking us for. That's a nice number. We got the vertex. The x-intercepts are pretty rotten. What's that? The y-intercept, where is it? There's a dash. Yeah, the y-intercept is at 2. Y equals 2. There's only one thing we need to find. What? X-intercepts. How?
Why is it? I can't talk. What is 0 instead
Welcome
of
to the
y?
club. But what?
What is 0 instead of y?
Ah, put a 0 instead of y. This is true. And then you use what to solve it? You have like 4x squared minus 8x plus 2 equals 0. Quadratic formula. I will humbly suggest there's another way to do it on this problem. By the way, that would work. And that's relatively straightforward. Perfectly okay. But I'm looking here. Liz, what method would work here? I'm going to set it up. 4 parentheses x minus 1 squared minus 2 equals 0. What method works? Quadratic formula works for standard form. There's something actually quite good about this form. What's that?
Algebra.
Algebra, why?
Because there's one piece of that.
There's only one species of x. Can somebody tell me what you get rid of first? Mary Claire, help me out.
Two.
Yeah, add 2, and what do you get so far?
4x minus 1 squared equals 2.
Good, equals 2. Keep going.
Divide by 4.
Divide by 4. What do you get so far?
X minus 1 squared equals 1/2.
Equals 1/2. Thank you for reducing. That's nice. Let me see. Katie, take over. I want to get x by itself. What do you get rid of next? Square rooted. How many answers? 2. What kind? Positive and negative. The square and the square root cancel. We have x minus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 1/2. One more step. Alrighty. What is the last thing we need to get rid of?
Add 1.
Yes. Where would I put the plus 1? In here?
No.
Where would I put it?
On the front.
On the front, yes, because otherwise people are wondering if it's getting square rooted. Let it butt in line. X equals -1 plus or minus the square root of 1/2. I have one teeny little gray. By the way, that's right, yes.
Why is it negative?
Which one? Ah, because I'm an idiot. There, sorry, this is plus. So, no, yeah. So, it's ritual. So, one tiny little gripe here. I mean, this is a huge gripe. Thank you for saving my bacon. Go ahead.
This is a radical division.
It's a radical in the basement. Because radical 1/2 is really radical 1 over radical 2. Can you simplify that for me? What's radical 1? Just in general. Square root of 1 is 1. Fix that for me. Go ahead.
Multiply by radical 2
Just there.
and on the bottom.
And on the bottom, what do you get?
Radical 2 over 2.
Ding, 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 ding. Plus or minus radical 2 over 2. Those are your x-intercepts. And you're done. Does that make sense? So if you have a form that's in x-intercept form, start with the x-intercepts. If you have it in standard form, you can either complete the square and get the vertex, or you can do the quadratic formula and get the x-intercepts. If it's in vertex form, I would just say start with the vertex. So all 3 forms have been demonstrated now. And if you need to recycle this, I'm posting this on YouTube, so go ahead and look at it as many times as you like. And click like and subscribe. I don't get paid, to be honest. Well, for this. I don't. Hey, you got 5 million clicks today. You get $8 billion. So we've got, that was number 7, 11 is done. 15. Use the method that seems most appropriate to you, which is kind of funny. It's the thing that seems most appropriate to you. It's just whichever one works best. I'm going to let you do this for me. 4x squared minus 16x plus 15. Times we have. I tell you what, since we're getting really close to the end of the hour, here's my plan B, well, plan C, I guess. I still want to go over the practice test that you took. So how about I plan to do that tomorrow? And then, tomorrow's Friday. Okay, this is such a messy day, like what day of the week is it? Then, how about Monday I give you the practice test version 2, and I'll have you work on that in groups, and the last 10 minutes of class we'll go over anything you get stuck on. And then, if we need it, I can go through it. Do you have an opinion as to whether we should do a test on Tuesday or Wednesday? Now, hold on, because I don't know what other tests you're gonna have next week. Let me know. It never just occurred to me to ask, like if somebody has the humanities test from Purgatory is coming on Tuesday, then that might affect. So, do you remember this, or is it pretty clear? Okay. I am open to either doing the test on Tuesday or Wednesday. It really doesn't make much difference to me. I don't want to push it must-pass Wednesday because I do need to get in the rest of the book. But I normally build in an extra week for chapter 1, so we're actually still on track, believe it or not. Okay. Wednesday? Everybody's Wednesday? All right. I will plan to do that. So we still have 10 minutes. I'll thrash through this, the rest of the homework. So, let's just plan on this. Finish this homework today. Tomorrow I will give you the practice test to go through in groups. I'll just let you do it for the entire hour. And then Monday, we will go through the practice test. Wait a minute, the timing is not.
Monday we do practice test, Tuesday we do practice test.
That doesn't
Tomorrow
make,
we're
yeah, that
doing-
doesn't make sense, does it?
Tomorrow we go over practice test.
Thank
Monday
you.
we do-
I'm getting myself in. Let me write it down because my memory is on paper. So, tomorrow, we go over practice test number 1. Thank you. I knew there was a step missing. Monday, take practice test number 2. You can do it in groups or by yourself if you want. Tuesday, go over practice test number 2. And then Wednesday is the actual chapter 1 test. There. Everybody good on that? All right. So you tell me, we got 2 more problems, and then we can shoot this homework in the head. We're videotaping this. That was a metaphor. Tell me how to do this. They basically want you to graph and analyze this thing. Graph it and give me all the parts. Tell me where to start. Start me off. What form is it? Standard form. So what's A? 4. What's B? Negative 16. I'm going to add the opposite. And C is 15. What method would you use? You can either solve or graph first. I don't care which. Yeah. How's it factor? This is problem number 15. Okay. By the way, if it does factor, that's awfully lucky. If you try and factor and then it does not factor, no, it won't kill you. It's actually good exercise. But it might, on a test, it might delay you 5 or 10 minutes. Later on, remind me tomorrow, I'll remind you there is a way to find out if the thing factors or not. Ahead of time. But how would you factor this monster?
You can do
Magic pair. Try it. Multiply. Has anybody not in my class not seen magic pair as a factoring method? Just out of curiosity. Did I show everybody this or no? Okay, good. Because if I didn't, that would be cruel. So, everybody knows magic pair, right? Wait, what? Good. Test tomorrow. That's awful. So multiply. So take over Megan. Go ahead and multiply this and this one.
60x squared.
Good, 60x squared. I'm looking for a pair that multiplies to that, but adds up to negative 16. What do you think? Okay, I wouldn't either. Here's what I do. I start at the beginning. 1x times 60x. 2x times 30x. And I just go all the way down. Now, if you get lucky and think of the pair, you could stop. You don't have to write it, just, you're not under contract to finish this. Give me the next one pair. 3x times, I'm sorry, what? 20x, okay, keep going. Times 15x, very good. Does 5 work? Okay, 5x times, it's more obscure. 12, nice. Keep going. Does 7 work? How about 8? 9? 10? 10 works. Should I do 10x and 6x? Why not? Already have it. There are other pairs. Negative 1x times negative 60x. Because negative times negative is positive. Negative 2x. I'm not going to do the whole thing just yet. Does anybody see a pair that looked kind of attractive? Not just emotionally, but like math-wise.
6 and 10.
Why 6 and 10?
Well, they add 16 and then
They add up to 16, which is awfully close. But what's wrong?
there's the
Negative. How do you fix it? What do we really need?
negative 6.
Yep. Negative 6x times negative 10x. You see that trick? This was so close. It was positive 16. Oh, if only it were negative. Hyper warp down here and it will be. This is the magic pair. What do you do with that magic pair? Nick. I was asking. But go ahead. Okay. Nate. What do you do with this? What's the purpose? Yeah, take a look up here. What is negative 6x plus negative 10x? You notice that's the same as this? You can substitute it. That's the key step. So you add them and substitute. Nate, tell me what you get. Just from beginning to end. 4x squared plus negative 6x or minus 6x plus negative 10x plus 15. What do you do now? Josh. Factor by grouping. Try it. What's the little mini GC out here?
2x.
Good. 2x. And what's left behind? You need to do minus plus negative 3. What about here? Negative 5. If the first term is negative, you always pull out a negative. Negative 5 and then what? Plus negative 3. Good. Is this going to work? Yes. If the parentheses match, it works. Very clear. Take over. Yeah, pull that in front. So you got 2x. I'll do minus 3 for old time's sake. And then what's the leftovers? 2x plus negative 5, or 2x minus 5. That's the factored form of this. Now, it's not in x-intercept form. But can somebody tell me a benefit of this? Why would you factor it? Awesome. Why did you factor it? X-intercepts by doing what? Because this is why you do this. Zero product property. How do you find x-intercepts in the first place? Set y equal to 0. That's exactly why the zero product property works. Yeah. So take over Blaze. How do you solve this beast? It's equal to 0.
We need to put it each and being easier.
Yeah, so 2x minus 3 equals
0.
0, or 2x minus 5 equals 0. Go ahead and do those.
Add 3.
At 3. What do you have so far?
2x equals 3.
2x equals 3. Keep going.
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. What do you got?
X equals 3 over 2.
X equals 3 over 2. There's it. Now, that's not the prettiest x-intercept I've ever seen in my life, but keep going.
2 equals 5.
2x equals 5, so x equals what?
5 over 2.
5 over 2. 1.5 and 2.5 for people addicted to decimals. So they're going to ask you for the x-intercepts anyway. Ta-da, there they are. Can somebody tell me the y-intercept? Mary, what's the y-intercept on this thing? There's a way to see it right away if you see the trick. It's 15. How do you get that so fast?
Because if you substitute 0 for x, then you get y.
Yeah, everything collapses except 15. So you've got 3 parts done already. You've got x-intercept, y-intercept. All you need is the axis of symmetry, and then you need the, what do you call it, the vertex, and then sketch the graph. And we are out of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the first 10 minutes of tomorrow finishing this off, and then we'll go over the practice test. Okay? Wow, could have called that flexible term. Please stand. And let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. All right. Thank you all. Tomorrow over the practice test, and from there. Oh yeah, some people watching at home. See you later. Bye-bye. I don't know if I'm hitting the right spot here.
We're still running.
Oh.
That way more. Help over side. Other way. A little more. A little more. Keep going more.
Darn it.
Please.